This doesn't look like much, but this is the handle, well, one of the handles for the DubStep gun. So I already got the box pretty much made and ready to go, and got the wooden dowels in, but they're in free, so I can easily remove them. And I'm doing the exact same box system that I have in my current, where I have the two side pieces with a hole going through them, except for the one that you actually see. Of course, you can actually see the indentations of the wooden dowels right here. And then I have a secondary one in the middle right here to add as a reinforcement, and then and whatnot. But this right here is the strongest way I can make the strongest thing I can make to actually make it so the handles don't break and whatnot. So all I gotta do is I just now need to build the second piece that goes right here, and then actually attaches to the dubstep gun, and then do the same thing for the front end and whatnot. And Android just constantly refuses to not autofocus properly. I really hate it. And if I had the money to like get something like a DSLR, like a high quality DSLR, not like the one I currently got right now that does active autofocusing, I would use that. But this is the my little Android phone is the only thing I have to record with. So I'll come back when I see fit. Alright, I'm quite happy with myself right now. This actual piece here came out really nice, even though it's just a simple box. I'm very happy with how good it came out. As you can tell, I got the lid just placed on here so you can get a general idea of what it's going to look like. I have a trash bag to hold to stop the paint from scraping on the table. Even though the paint's cured, I don't want to take any chances. And if I actually pop the lid off, you can actually see how it's more or less put together. So if I can pop this off, give me a second. I actually haven't hot glued it in yet. This is the exact same design I have on my dubstep gun, though these tabs here are a little bit thicker. Because if I actually go to mine, you can kind of see how I'm more or less just redoing what I just did on mine. But I'm making the tabs on Kazha a lot more thicker. Because basically, this tab and this tab here is what's going to be holding this whole section on. And that includes the handle right here. So I did some cutting and made some keyholes, and of course they just slide in as so, and we're good to go. And I'm quite happy with how well it came out. Even this piece is doing its job, so we're good there. So I'm going to finish up the rest of this thing and come back. Alright, now we'll go outside and spray paint these all matte black so it looks just like the one in the game. Because unlike the ones on mine, you can actually see them getting pretty nasty over time. I mean, I'm definitely looking at my original dubstep gun and I'm like, yeah, when I get this thing done, and then when I get Kazha's done, I think within the next 2 months, I'm actually going to rebuild mine again. Because it looks good white, but man, it looks it just looks old and nasty up close, unfortunately. Putsy thinks the same too. Alright, so these are now spray painted. I'm waiting for them to dry for a little while before I spray a second coat. I'm probably going to do maybe 2 or 3 coats. The spray painting portion is actually one of the longest parts of this thing because I have to wait for all this stuff to dry before I can do anything. But one of the nice things about my sleeping schedule being so messed up as it is right now, I can build Kazha's dubstep gun at night and also take 15-minute breaks every now and then just to stargaze and whatnot. And of course I got my Viken telescope. For those that are wondering what this model is, it's a Viken A80MF. This is about a $400 or so telescope, and that's with both the actual telescope itself and the tripod. Just for the telescope alone, it's about $250. So for my first telescope, I'm very happy with this one. The only thing I actually did to this thing to upgrade it, or upgrade the optics, is get myself a newer eyepiece. So I'm actually letting this thing sit for about an hour or so out here for the optics to actually cool down to ambient temperature, so I can actually stargaze and look at planets, constellations, and whatnot. And of course I'm going to first look at Jupiter because it's one of the brightest things out there. Mars, of course, is right there. Saturn is behind the trees somewhere over here. That's Saturn right there. But yeah. So I'm going to go back into the house and actually do some more work on Kazha's DubStep gun before I actually do a little bit of stargazing. Alright, so the next part for me to build is going to be the front handle. Luckily, the front box, luckily this part's going to be incredibly simple to build. And then I gotta build this section here. So this whole little area right here is probably gonna take me about an hour or so to build. I'm hoping maybe 30 minutes, but I'm gonna give myself about an hour or so of how long it's actually gonna take. It may even take longer. But on to this part now. Alright, it is slowly coming along. It's really starting to look like something now. I got the front portion actually attached and whatnot. Same thing like the back. And now it's been about an hour or so, so I'm actually going to, it's actually been about an hour or so, so now I'm actually going to take my 15-minute break and stargaze for a little bit. Alright, so I'm now at a point where I can kind of draw out where everything's going to go. So first I actually finish off both handles and whatnot, so let me actually freely remove them. And basically, they're just hot glued in. Both just on this section and on these sections, or these sections too. It's pretty much the same on each one. And these are, believe it or not, pretty strong. I mean, for what they are, I'm actually quite amazed how strong they are. And of course, these little lips right here are going to be what holds them onto the actual body of the DubStep gun and whatnot. But for right now, I have them so where they can freely pop on and off. I'm going to actually when I get to a point where I feel like the time is right, I'm going to actually just hot glue those things in, and they won't come apart again. I've also cut the holes for the front speaker system, or the front speakers and whatnot, and they more or less just slide in without any problem. Let me see if I can do this on camera without taking too much time. And again, and of course, I'm not going to hot glue these in until I get to a point where I feel like I can actually, that I'm actually okay with it. But generally speaking, it's going to go on like so. Now, I've also already mounted one amplifier to the main amp. Now I have the little power cord right here. What I'm actually going to do with this is I'm actually going to have a female aux. That way, Kazha has the option if she wants to make this thing Bluetooth, she can easily just get one of those little Bluetooth adapter thingies and whatnot, or just use a standard aux cable for whatnot. I'm also going to make this thing battery powered for her, even though this thing's going to be at her booth all the time. I'm pretty sure the occasion will come up. There will be something coming up. Can't speak. I'm pretty sleepy. There will probably something come up every now and then to where she'll want to actually carry this thing around. And I'm gonna make it so she can do that. The battery's gonna go right here, and whatnot. Now the placement of the secondary amp, and generally speaking, how the wiring on this thing is gonna go. Well, basically, this one's probably gonna go like right here, so maybe right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a wire going to this aux port right here. And then this is the actual speaker wire. These speaker wires will be going directly to the LEDs and the VU meter. Well, actually, it'll be going directly to this little board right here, which is going to be placed right around here or so. And then these wires will go directly to the VU meter. It's kind of hard to explain if I don't have the actual parts, but generally speaking, you kind of get the general placement of where I'm putting everything. And of course, I'm going to have this little speaker in there too, and this little speaker is just going to go to this wire right here. And it'll just more or less be like this. So generally speaking, I'm hoping the cable management for this one is going to be a lot cleaner than the cable management in my current one. That's another thing I'm going to try and do proper on hers is proper cable management, because mine's kind of a nightmare to say the least. So let's see, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I know it doesn't look like much going on, but the main reason why I didn't get much done today was because I had to wait for these to dry so I can actually work with them, and I also had to wait for the freaking hot glue to cool off and whatnot. And it takes about like 5 minutes. It takes about like 5 minutes for each little bead of hot glue to dry off. So yeah, just 10 minutes just to do this side and this side, and then another 10 to do the other side and the other side. So yeah, it kind of takes a while to do something like this. I would like it to go by faster, but I can't. And whatnot. But I'm getting ever so close to getting this thing done. There's actually not much more I need to really do to get this thing complete. I just gotta wait for my LEDs to come in on Monday, and that's pretty much it, really. So, yeah, that's it for now. This thing is coming along nicely. So the one thing that still bugs me is the thickness of this area, but like I said, in the end, it's going to do just fine. The thickness is just a little off.